Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. I'm on a mission to get it all. Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. If you ain't thick, please don't get involved.
And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
Yeah, I'm good to go, Chin.
Nice.
Thanks, everybody, for coming on this early Monday morning. It is a holiday. It's Juneteenth. Juneteenth.
End of slavery.
What'd you say?
End of slavery.
That's right, Chin. Mm-hmm. That's freaking right, Chin.
Yep.
So please, dude, a little respect. One of the good things of holidays in California, because I don't know if every state honors it like California does, but it's an official holiday here. So kids have school off. So no summer camp for my kiddos. So they're going to drive my girl crazy all day. So that's fun. But then no traffic. That's the biggest thing, no traffic. Do you remember during the pandemic, no traffic?
It was beautiful, man.
I could get anywhere in LA in 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Downtown, West Side, didn't matter. 18 minutes. That's not, like everyone's like, oh, LA's so big. Oh my God. It's really not. There's just so many people. If you want to get anywhere, it's the traffic. Even then, it's not as bad. Listen, I'm all over. There's way worse. Houston's fucking terrible. Atlanta, Chicago, Seattle. You want to talk about Seattle? Traffic in Seattle? Come holler at your boy, dude. It's a beast, man. But happy Father's Day, too. Happy belated Father's Day to all the papas out there. Hopefully you had a good Father's Day. I had a nice one. That's me wrestling with my kiddos there. They always want to wrestle. They always want to wrestle with their dad. Yeah, Basti they don't stop either, man. It is nonstop. Nonstop, because their dad's big. They constantly harass me and beat me up. But yeah, I went to the Malibu car show. Man, my kids, this guy says, some great ones today. I skipped it because I thought it'd be slow. Oh, my man, you were wrong. It was not slow. I'm with you. I thought it might be slow too, but there were some fire-ass cars there. You know, there's some special Lamborghinis. My kids love Lamborghinis. It drives me nuts. But that's a 68 Ferrari Daytona V12. I think it's probably $1 million+ bucks. Like that is an ultimate Ferrari. I mean, it's an ultimate Ferrari. They came out with a new Daytona. I mean, I think there's only like 300 of them. They're so impossible to get. But this old one, when I saw it drive by, I was like, oh, Dad. I told my kids, I'm like, Dad needs a picture of that car. And my son's like, that thing? I'm like, hey, man, what do you mean that thing? And so I educated him on it, and he did not care. He was like, Dad's car is old. Let's move on. And there's a pink Porsche. He's like, let's move on to the Porsche. I'm like, God damn it, dude. You know? And there's always these dogs there. But to be honest, the lady that runs the Malibu Cafe there is not the friendliest lady. I'm like, hey, listen, if you're going to put two labs out front of the freaking cafe, people are going to touch them. Yeah. You know, she's just not very friendly. Like, she's so disturbed. The business is over there. It's weird because they've been trying to shut down that Cars and Coffee forever.
You don't like it?
Because it shuts down the parking lot, but there's so many people. I'm like, it has to be good for business. Like whenever I'm in there, it's booming, dude, booming. Yeah, Father's Day was good. Son made a card for me. It was kind of disturbing because the spelling was so bad, and it was very disturbing. And then, don't get me wrong, it was a great Father's Day, but this is how it went. Woke up. Both my kids had a card for me. Boston's just scribble, right? Because he's 2, so that thing was kind of a nightmare. And then Tigers, he made it at school. I'm like, I go, T, did any teacher help you with this? He's like, no. Like my name was spelled Braden. He was like, I love my dad more than I love Lamborghinis. I'm not even trying to tell you I spelled Lamborghini. Just all of it. I was like, dude, this is a hot mess, buddy. This is private school education. What are we doing here? And then my girl's like, oh, here's your gift. I'm a XXX. She got me a XL shirt, so that didn't fit. So we are off to a tough start. Saturday night was Chris D'Elia's wedding in Santa Barbara. Good little rips. Could go for Life Rips cold brew, not going to lie. This is my pitch to Chris, is me and him start a coffee chain.
For sure.
We're both so into coffee. Yeah, that's all we talk. And I was like, we don't have to call it Thick Boy Coffee. Like, we'd have Life Rips, whatever you want to do, man. Mm-hmm. It'd be so dope. But his wedding was so dope, man. It was in Santa Barbara. I drove down there. That's me and Eric Griffin there because I went solo. My girl didn't go. I went solo, so I was the The Lonely Wolf, Eric came with his wife, so you had to take pictures, and I had nobody to take picture with. Eric goes, we should take a picture like we're holding Brian and Theo, but they're not there. And then we're going to Photoshop their bodies in. We wanted to, but then we just did that one. Don't be mad at that suit either. Daddy has some fire suits. I just never have a place to wear them. Because remember, when I used to host the pre and post shows for the Oscars, the Grammys, the Emmys, all that shit, the worst thing about Ian's probably I'm not with him anymore. One of many reasons, but is they can't just hire a stylist and throw me suits off the shelf. It doesn't work like that. So every suit I had to be custom, and they have to cover the budget, right? So it's custom, but once it's custom, you just keep it. So it costs them thousands of dollars every show, and they have to pay your boy, right? You got to pay Daddy for his brain, you know what I'm saying? To chime in on pop culture, you got to pay Daddy for the award shows that would skim through. I had no idea most people that were performing, but I did my best. Probably another reason I got fired. But the thing is, they just didn't renew my contract. But the thing is all those suits, I probably have 10 suits from them, and they're fire suits. Like you won't see them anywhere. Custom made, like they're so fire. Have my son's names in the inside. Also has like that suit in particular. You open it up, it has a bunch of famous mobster, their prison mugshots. It's sick, really sick. I have nowhere to wear them though. But so whenever I can, I text Chris as I'm driving up. Dude, I'm not even trying to flex on you, but my suit is fire, my man. Let me know what color you're wearing because I don't want to upstage everybody. But it was just a nice little wedding. I'll tell you what, man. After going to Delia's wedding, Schultz's wedding, my boys do it right. It's not long, drawn out. They say their vows, and it's out, man. Mm-hmm. And then the best man speeches, usually it's from a comic. Like Schultz's was Charlemagne, his was fire. And then for Delia's, it was why is it blanking on his name? His boy.
And they go to his page.
Lenoci.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Lenoci. Lenoci gave the best man. Well, it was Lenoci, and then his youngest brother too. It was only brother gave the speeches. Now the bridesmaid speech. Let's talk about that. I could not stop laughing because it dragged on forever. There's three of them. It just brought the wedding a screeching halt. But because they went up first, and there's three of them, and they talked way too long. But it was all inside like jokes. And all I could think about is bridesmaids nailed to a fucking T. And bridesmaid, when she's like, I still want our rockin' sushi, sushi nights, and she's like, inside joke. Theirs was all inside jokes. Everyone's like, oh my God. And then Chris's brother goes on, kills it. And then Lenoci went on, just set the place on fire. He crushed it, man. It was so fucking funny. Food was good. The ceremony, like the party afterwards, we call it the reception, was like this cool little room. It felt like you were in like a cotton candy heaven. It was like this little room that had cotton candy. There was a small dance floor, a live band, like a dope ass band. Everybody was dancing stuff. That's when your boy left. I snuck out. But then to the side, he had a Life Rips little coffee stand. Yeah. He's obsessed with coffee bean. That's where we differ. I'm a Starbucks guy. He's a coffee bean guy. So, but there they are. There the boys are. That's making my cold brew at 10 o'clock at night because I had to drive back to wake up early with the kiddos. It was a good time, though. Proud of Chris. We got King this thing today, man. Schedule's all messed up this week. Brian's in Greece.
I know.
You guys are still getting a Fire and Kid. We did an extra one last week with Jeff Dye, so that drops today. And then, Theo's doing his thing. So, we're figuring it out. There were some fights over the weekend, though. My boy Calvin Kattar and Josh Emmett. So that was the main event, right? And then the co-main event was supposed to be Cowboy and Joe Lozon, and that didn't end up happening. And the one thing about Dana is they've tried it twice now. You've never seen that fight. Yeah. It's out. Joe Lozon's knee locked up, and he says it's happened from time to time. It's a knee that he's had issues on. He's like, it'll lock up, but then I just, do my thing, and it starts working. And he goes, for whatever reason, it just would not work. He's like, I was joking around. My cornerman jumped on his back like I was choking him out to get out of there, but just never worked. So, all the years, one of my faves. I love Joe Lozon. So that's a bummer because that'd been a fun fight, especially on that main card. But, with Josh Emmett and Calvin Kattar, I think if you watch that fight and you weren't like blown away by it, I think because if you look at, because I watched it from the prelims to the main, right? there were so many exciting fights, like first round finishes, TKOs, KOs, like it was on, man. So I think for a lot of people, when you get that main event, and there was a lot of mismatches on the card too, so you can get a lot of cool knockouts, right? So when you get to that main event, you're talking about Josh Emmett and Calvin Kattar, two of the best featherweights on the freaking planet. Neither of them are knockout artists. And it's going to be, that's a real competition, man. High level martial arts. So chances of get a finish out of there, I didn't think it'd be a finish. But I had to go to the wedding, right? I had to leave the ceremony was at 5, so I had to leave at 3. It took me like an hour and a half to get there. So I saw most of the prelims, then I record it. And then I watched the main event at probably 1 in the morning, like a psychopath, probably at 1 in the morning. But I saw online, and obviously people text me, so I can never get away from fights. Even if I don't watch them, too many people spoil it for me because too many friends are into it, or they ask me like, oh, what'd you think of that? I knew something was going on because I got a text from my boy, Todd, who's like, man, did you have that going Emmett's way? And I was like, oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. I've avoided it all this long. Thank you. And then I look up online, and I love Calvin Kattar. He was on the show last Monday. He's one of my favorites. He's a buddy of mine, so I'm very biased. I don't know Josh Emmett. I'm sure he's a fantastic guy. Watching his story with his wife and the injuries he's overcome and being inactive and then fighting Calvin Kattar. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. And I'm sure he's a great guy, but I don't know him. So I tell you guys all the time, I am biased. I'm very biased. If I know somebody or I have a connection with somebody, it is what it is. I root for them. I'm biased. I told Calvin he knows who I'm rooting for on the show. I'm very open about it. It's no knock on Josh Emmett. I'm sure he's a great fucking guy. Phenomenal fighter. Been doing it for a hot second. So I went into the fight, even though I know the outcome, I went in going, oh, I'm going to watch this, and I bet I can find a narrative where Calvin won. I'll come on the show Monday and argue it for Calvin and trying to change the narrative for whatever that means. I don't think I have that much power, but that would be my kind of take for Monday's show. I'll be able to watch all 5 rounds. I'll watch it twice. So I'll watch it. This is how I usually operate. I'll watch it once on my own. Then the next morning I'll watch it. And then I'll read like breakdowns of, some of the best out there and what they thought. And then I'll come up with my own kind of take on it. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch the fight with Josh Emmett, Calvin Kattar. Even though Josh won by split decision, I bet I can find spots and argue that Calvin won because I'm a Calvin fan. I'll change the narrative. Watch the fight 3 times. There's no way Calvin won. Really? It's just not. I mean, at best, you have him winning 2 rounds. But so you give for sure the second round to Calvin. But outside that, it's tough. It's tough. He's obviously. I do think he's the better boxer, and this was just a boxing match. Unfortunately, I think Josh could have done some more things as far as wrestling and mixing it up to definitely get a way bigger, convincing decision, even though it was split. And I think Calvin could use some kicks. The kicks could have mixed it up for him. I think that could have been a big difference, but he didn't want to get taken down. But Calvin has great takedown defense. So, it was a straight up boxing match. I think the difference was Josh Emmett just, the number one priority in judging is damage done, inflicted damage, and Josh Emmett definitely did more damage. He just hits harder, and it looks harder, so you could see even if Calvin would block it, he kind of wince. I don't want to say wince because it's Calvin Kattar, but it just had a bigger effect. Even if he was at landing, the combinations, it was more explosive, more aggressive, more memorable for the judges. So even that being said, I gave Calvin maybe 1 round. I could see you give him 2. There's argument for 2, but outside that, I don't see it. And I hate saying that. I was hoping to come in here and argue for Calvin, and I just, as much as I love him, I can't. They got it right on this one. 48-47, I'm fine with that. The one judge, 47-48, I'd love to hear how they came to that conclusion. I would love it if you could interview the judges after the fight. Like, so 47-48, tell us why you gave Calvin those rounds and what round you gave him and the reason why you did it. Just so I think it would help the criticism on the judges if we knew their way of thinking, because we have no clue, right? We have no clue. It was a great fight, though. It did get the fight of the night. Calvin's in a tough spot because whenever he gets to the fight to get him to the next level, even though split decision, he's still a loss. So he's not going to go too far down the queue. You know, he's ranked 4 now. So I you know, he would probably get the loser of Ortega Yair, I'd assume. It's gonna get dicey because if Brian Ortega wins, do you get, because Brian, the featherweight division is fantastic, but so if Brian Ortega beats Yair Rodriguez, which is coming up soon, is it too soon to give Brian Ortega another title shot? Right, he lost to Max and he lost to Volkanovski. He had some moments, especially in the Volkanovski one with that guillotine. You know, he had his moments, but he lost recently. So I don't know. If Yair wins, it's very clear who gets the next title shot. I know Josh Emmett was saying title shot. I don't see that happening any facet. He hasn't been active enough. A Calvin Kattar split decision win. Even though he beat the number 4 guy, and he'll probably, I think they'll move Josh up to 6 or 5. I think the next move for Josh Emmett, because you know, he's been inactive, and you got to be active to get a title shot, right? So he's been pretty inactive, gets a split decision win over Kattar. I just don't think it's enough to argue for a title shot, even though he's won, 5 in a row now? Yeah, 5 in a row. You know, Dan Ige, Shane Burgos, Michael Johnson. He has some big wins. But I just don't think the title shot is next for him. I think he's going to have to go through a guy like Arnold Allen. I do think Arnold Allen is the boogeyman of this division. So you have 2 outliers in this featherweight division that aren't mainstream, meaning they're not in the talks for a title shot right now, but both of them have the talent to definitely in the next year fight for the title. That'd be Arnold Allen, who's won, 9 in a row? It's going to be tough to beat that guy. So I'd love to see Arnold Allen step up and fight Josh Emmett. And people will say, well, Josh just beat the number 4 guy. Arnold's ranked number 6. No, I get that. I get that, but I think the hardcores know what you're dealing with Arnold Allen. You know, I think he's a guy who, you know, he's coming off a big win over Dan Hooker. He absolutely annihilated Dan Hooker. So I would love to see Arnold Allen, Emmett next. And then if Emmett were to beat him, and then we have, because you got to let the Ortega Yair fight figure out, you got to let the Max Holloway Volkanovski fight. So if you're Emmett and you've been inactive, you got to stay active. A big win over a guy like Arnold Allen, or even a big win over a guy like Bryce Mitchell. So the 2 boogeymen to me of the division that aren't in the talks right now of fighting for a title would be Arnold Allen and Bryce Mitchell. They're going to be tough customers to beat. Very tough. Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell is fantastic too. And I know, I don't think Emmett's this guy, and Calvin Kattar sure as fuck not this guy. But, you know, when it comes to rankings, because Arnold Allen's 6 and Bryce Mitchell's 9, you could say, well, if he wants to get a title shot, he needs to fight, 2 or 3. It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't. I think in this division, because it's kind of tied up at the top there with Max fighting for the title, Ortega, Yair Rodriguez. Again, if Yair wins, he's getting the next title shot. But so you're gonna be waiting a hot second. If let's say Dana came out in the press conference, which he didn't, but if Dana came out and was like, Josh Emmett's next in line, okay, you're fighting December at best. Depending how those other fights go, and you've been inactive, you don't want that, man. You really don't. So I think Emmett's gonna get a guy like Arnold Allen or Bryce Mitchell, because Bryce one's a top 5 guy. I think they moved Josh up to 5. Chan Sung Jung definitely shouldn't be 5. I know you love him, Chin. Shouldn't be. You're out of your mind if you can watch. And again, I'm a Korean Zombie fan. It is what it is. He's at the twilight of his career. He says he wants one more fight. Very cool. You're out of your goddamn mind if you think Korean Zombie could beat Arnold Allen, Josh Emmett, Giga, or Bryce Mitchell right now. That ain't happening in any facet. So I like the ratings. I'm like, all right, that's just a respect thing. We all respect Korean Zombie. There's no way he's the number 5 guy in the world. There's no way. There's no way you think he beats Arnold Allen, Josh Emmett, Giga, or Bryce Mitchell. And they're 6, 7, 8, 9. There's no way. No. You tell me he's going to beat the guys ahead of him? Tell me he's going to beat Yair, Ortega, Holloway? We know he's not beating fucking Volkanovski. He fought Ortega. Saw how that went. you know? So for him to be at 5, it's like the guy's doing the rank. It's like, oh yeah, that's a respect thing, which I'm all about it. I'm with you, man. But he ain't beating them. I'm telling you guys, put Star next to Arnold Allen and Bryce Mitchell. Next year, they're going to be real threats there. I mean, they're threats now. Arnold Allen's number 6. We're starting to talk about him now. But, so for Emmett, it's good to see a guy like him that's overcome injuries and stuff like that. And he's been in the home and to show his wife. Like, can't help but love the guy. And he's an exciting fighter too. He's a good wrestler, but he was a Golden Gloves champ, fellow alumni Golden Gloves champ. Not a big deal. I won in Colorado. He won in Texas. Is that right, Jen?
Well, who are we talking about now? Sorry.
Emmett.
Oh.
Where'd he win his Golden Gloves?
Chicago.
It does matter. It does matter. Just, if you won in, Maine. All right. I'm sure to say. So hold on. Emmett wrestled his first. Let me see this. Emmett was born in Phoenix. All right. He studied psychology in college with the intention of going to law enforcement. And he couldn't look more like a cop. He looks like RoboCop. Bachelor's degree, Menlo College. Menlo, Big Mark. Menlo College. Did a phenomenal football player coming out of there. It was Division III Menlo. Or it might be NAIA. His name was, I think, Vincent Jackson or Jackson something. Monster. So fucking good at football. Played for the Broncos for a long time. Do that out of Division III is fucking insane. So Emmett wrestled for 14 years, began at El Camino Fundamental High School. Why do they call it Fundamental High School? Is that one of those like secondary school? You know what I'm saying? Is that one of those prom schools? Continuing college years, Emmett wrestled his first 2 seasons at junior college level, Sacramento City College before transfer to Emmett Menlo. After his collegiate career was over, he joined Uriah Faber's Ultimate Fitness to continue his desire in competing. Emmett has also accomplished jiu-jitsu and world championship blue belt. Okay. Doesn't say where, so I would assume California. Which is very impressive. I think California and New York have the biggest kind of, I think California, Texas, and New York have the biggest Golden Gloves competition. I mean, Colorado's no punk. Let's not throw shade on that, okay? Mm-hmm. So he thought he was going to get screwed by the judges. Yeah, it's tough. Of course you did. Yeah, of course you did. I would love if the judges had to do short interviews. Like, just do it with someone who's safe, like not the MMA media who are going to light them up and like ask a million questions. So I'll just have like Megan O'Leary or who's the girl we love?
Laura Sanko.
Laura Sanko. Like, have Laura Sanko sit down with them, like, let's go through the judging. How dope of a series would that be?
Yep.
Behind the judging with Laura Sanko. And she sits down with him like, how the hell did you get here? But she's not that aggressive, And she's easy on the eyes, so they're kind of like, all right, here we go. She's cool, Like, you don't want my big, gnarly ass in there smelling like musk and tobacco. You feel me? And whiskey. You don't want that. You need like a kind of a nice ambiance where they feel relaxed, playing some like cool music. I'm like, you want a drink? Yeah, let's talk about the fight, how you judge that. And then by then she's like, you're out of your fucking mind. It'd be such a lit show. Behind the judging. Laura Sanko. That one's for free, Fight Pass. After that, I'm going to start charging. Kevin Holland had, if you're going to pick an MVP of the night, it's tough not to say Josh Emmett, even though it was a split decision, but really it should have been a majority decision. It's a good fight, especially being a guy in Calvin Kattar. It's a big feather in his cap. But if you had to give an MVP outside the main event, it'd be Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland looked fantastic. I think what's next for Kevin Holland, after he fell on hard times, right? And then he did his thing, went to AKA. He's getting a lot better. They're still not putting him with a ton of wrestlers. Tim Means is, a wily vet. For him to just absolutely dominate Tim Means says a lot about where Kevin Holland's at. I think for Kevin, I think it's time for another test. I would like a welterweight. I'd like a Wonder Boy would be a fun matchup. I think Wonder Boy would be fun. He called out Sean Brady. Now, this is the reason why I like Kevin Holland, which we should get him on here. Tell homegirl. Kevin Holland, obviously, he's a big personality, talks in the cage, does his thing. When you lose, obviously, people, talk all that shit and blah, blah, blah. But he's obviously getting better. I do think it'd be a fun test. But one of the reasons I love Kevin Holland is you'll hear guys call guys out and they're trying to get the biggest, most famous guy. That's the easiest fight possible. This dude called out Sean Brady. Again, I told you in the featherweight division, Arnold Allen and our boy Bryce Mitchell are the boogeymen. In the welterweight division, there couldn't be a scarier guy right now than Sean Brady, Philadelphia's finest. And for Kevin Holland, who, he is good at jiu-jitsu, but the wrestling seems to be an issue, Sean Brady can grapple his ass off. So it's not like he's calling out the perfect matchup like a Vicente Luque who's going to strike with him, like a Wonderboy Thompson who's going to strike with him, like a Jorge Masvidal who's a huge name. No, dude, he called out the Philadelphia boogeyman and Sean Brady. And I was like, oof, I do not like that fight for Kevin Holland. But you never know. He's getting better. But yeah, Sean Brady, he's going to have something coming his way too. He is a fucking monster out of Philadelphia. These Philadelphia boys, man, they got something going on up there, man. They got a lot of monsters coming out of there. And Sean Brady's probably the captain of that movement. And he is a problem. The UFC's going to have to, he's ranked 9. Two of the guys above him, I assume that's who he wants to fight. He's been calling out everybody. No one's kind of taking the bait because, it's Sean Brady. I think he's another guy who he's a problem for a lot of guys. So you look at Jorge Masvidal's not going to fight him. Wonderboy might. I think Wonderboy do what the UFC tells him to do. So I could see Wonderboy taking that fight. I would love a Holland Wonderboy fight. I think that'd be fun. Vicente Luque is such a fun fight for Holland or Sean Brady if they don't make that fight happen. And obviously Muhammad, who we just had on Food Truck, one of my favorite guests, by the way. He's fantastic. So you have Muhammad, Burns, Hamzat, of course, Leon Edwards fighting for a title, and Colby Covington's kind of doing his thing. So for Sean Brady, it's like it's off to the races. It's just tough because, again, that division, Kamaru and Leon Edwards title fight coming up in what they announced it in August? I think the fight's in August. And then you got Colby they're trying to do Colby Hamzat on ABC. You got Gilbert Burns at 4. You got Muhammad right there. You got Vicente Luque and then Wonderboy. Then Jorge Masvidal. Who knows what's going to happen there? But Dana did come out and say that the charges that Colby Covington's pressing against Jorge doesn't affect their fighting. He was like, it's not going to hold it up. They're able to go, which is interesting. Right?
Yeah.
I think because it's 2 UFC guys. If it was a regular civilian and Jorge and they were pressing charges, I think that makes it a little tougher for the UFC to promote a fight.
Yeah.
I like Neil Magny and our boy Holland. Yeah. Yeah, the UFC is booming. You look at this, they're fucking stacked, dude. Stacked. But yeah, I'd give Holland the MVP there. They give him a bonus? Performance of the night, yeah. Holland.
That's the most they've ever given out.
Jesus Christ.
11.
Buckley. Adrian Yanez. Adrian Yanez was interesting, right? Because that Tony Kelly, he's the guy that said the racist Brazilian stuff. Yeah. Racist. I don't think it was racist. I think it was off-colored. But I don't think it was straight up racism,
Yeah.
Again, that's why I don't think the corner should be mic'd up. Also, going back to the corner in the Josh Emmett fight, his corner after 2 rounds goes, or going into the third goes, you're up 2 rounds. Now, I know a lot of people are criticizing Josh Emmett's corner, the Team Alpha Male's corner, for saying that. This is why I don't give a flying fuck. Because you don't know that fighter like they know him. Josh Emmett might be a guy who, if he thinks he's losing, he's take bigger risk and kind of put himself in a compromised position. I do think after 2 is 1-1. It's weird to corner go, you're up 2-0. But again, I don't know the fighter. They might be saying that because if he thinks he's doing well, then he's in the right frame of mind to take chances and try and get a finish. Because if they go, dude, you're down 2, man. He might freak the fuck out and who knows what happens. So they know the fighter best. That's why I never judge a corner, whatever they say during the middle of a fist fight in a cage. That's why they shouldn't be mic'd up because it can only get them in trouble. So here with Josh Emmett going, you're up 2-0. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But then in my head, I'm like, they know him better. Maybe he needs that motivation. Like that's what motivates him. If he thinks he's dominating, that gets him to his peak level. You know, that's why I never question that stuff. But it is strange. Go, oh, you're up 2-0. I was like, holy, man, those are close rounds. Those first two are close, man. Yeah, I definitely think you lost one. But again, they know him better than me, so maybe that's what he needs to get to where he's trying to go. So Adrian Yanez, who's a straight up savage.
So good.
5-0, right?
Let's see how much she is right now.
I know it's at least 5 in a row. Oh, shnikes. This boy is doing work. Mm-hmm. So he got his start on the Dana White Contender Series, August 2020. He got a knock at TKO in 39 seconds. Then they're like, all right, cool, man. You're going to fight in October in the real UFC. And head kick KO, performance of the night. This dude has had every fight he's had in the UFC, he's got a performance of the night or fight of the night. Nutsos.
Yep.
Now, with Tony Kelly, he missed weight, and he got finished in the first round. Do they cut him? Let me see. Click on his record. How's it been going for him?
Not too bad.
2-2. We'll see what the UFC. And then he has fight of the night. All right. No, they don't cut him yet. Your boy Adrian Yanez, getting it done. We got him on the show today, too.
Oh, yeah.
Little bantamweight badass doing his thing. So it'll be interesting to talk to him. He's a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, that many bonuses. He's rich. Rich.
He's so good.
He's so good. Yeah. Yep. They put him on the to kick off kind of the main card on purpose. Like, obviously, the kid brings it. I would be willing to bet after this he's on pay-per-views.
I hope so.
Meaning like main card, not main event yet, but main card.
Yeah.
At bantamweight, how exciting he is. Outside that, a good card overall. Cody Stamann, Eddie Wineland, complete mismatch. It was a good win for Cody, but that was a toss-up. Phil Hawes?
Yeah, Phil Hawes and Duran. That was...
Yeah.
That was hard.
Duran win. He's just too short for the division, yeah?
Yeah, he couldn't reach him.
Yeah, it's a nightmare for him.
Yeah.
And he went hard at DC as well. I'm sure that's in your current events. Yep. Let's take a little break, kids, from me ranting and chatting about the fight world. Because, man, I know you're like, oh, the NBA playoffs is over. There's no NFL. There's no huge UFC this weekend, pay-per-view. What am I going to do? Well, sports is always going on, man. You got MLB happening right now. You got my Colorado Avalanche in the Stanley Cup freaking finals, and they're up 2-0. The boys are going to bring it home, so make money. You can watch NHL Stanley Cup championship games with the Colorado Avalanche, and you can make money. They're going to beat the Lightning. The Tampa Bay Lightning don't stand a chance. They're down 0-2, but watch the Stanley Cup finals, make some bank with my friends at DraftKings. Or if you're not a hockey guy, just watch MLB. There's a million games going on, all right? Bet on MLB. Make some cash, dude. Whatever you want to do it, you got to do it with my friends at DraftKings. All you got to do, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code SCHAUB. That's SCHAUB show. All right. And you're going to bet, and then you're going to win a bunch of money. All right. You can win a ton of money in free bets if you start winning. They have all sorts of giveaways, all sorts of bonuses. You do parlays, do whatever you want, man. They got it all, one-stop shop at DraftKings. That's promo code SCHAUB only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use promo code SCHAUB. We got you. DraftKings. Last ad read, kids, and we get back to the show, I promise. Listen, it's a thick boy summer. It is here. Thick boy, thick girl summer. And maybe your goal is to get shredded. Maybe it's to get in the best shape of your life. Whatever it is, you need some help, man. You need some real, professional, smart, expert help, man. And that's where FitBod, it's an app. FitBod is an app, all right? It's a smart workout app that creates custom dynamic programming based on your goals, experience, and equipment that you have. They have this special algorithm. It uses data and analytics to build your best next workout. It maximizes your results just for you. The workouts ain't for everybody. It's not, peanut butter jelly, not for everybody consumed. No, it's built just for you to get in the best shape of your life. It's a thick boy summer. That doesn't mean get out of shape summer. That means get in great shape so you look cool in your board shorts. You look cool at the barbecue with your shirt off, whatever it is. You're looking cool on the gram. Let FitBod help you out, man. The app is super easy to use. All right. There's HD video tutorials that make learning new exercises super easy. All right. It can integrate with your Apple Watch, All right. Apps like it works with apps like Apple Health, Fitbit, Strava. All right. That's one I use for my biking. For less than the cost of one session with a personal trainer, you get a full year of personalized workouts with Fitbod. Again, it's just for you. These workouts are designed, custom made for you. Is your trainer doing that? No. They have an idea what they're going to do for the day. Then all their clients get it. Not with Fitbod. It's just for you to get in phenomenal shape, the best shape of your life. It's super easy. No more excuses. Download the app, all right? Crush your summer fitness goals with personalized workouts from Fitbod that improve as you do. That's right. And it's never the same. It's always improving. That's the way to get in shape, man. Get 25% off your subscription or try out the app for free when you sign up now at fitbod.me/Schaub, SCHAUB. That's 25% off your subscription or try it for free at fitbod.me/Schaub. Fitbod. Mr. Adrian Yanez, what's happening, brother?
Oh man, loving living life, man. That's just been the motto of like these last couple months, man. Last actually like 7 of my life, you know. So yeah, the best way to explain it.
Yeah, you look good, man. Especially, I mean, coming off that big victory. This must have been a satisfying one. I'm sure you're aware of all the things going into this fight. So a lot of people are rooting for you. They didn't do homeboy any favors pairing him up with you. You've been on this freaking banshee of a freaking streak, just destroying dudes since you got into the UFC from the Contender Series. Did you feel pressure going into this one?
No, I didn't feel any pressure, honestly. Like I just try to put everything else just kind of like, you know, it's all just noise to me. You know, I don't need to put any added pressure on myself, you know, because I already put a lot of pressure on myself to try to do what I can to be perfect, you know, even though that being perfect is like something that's you're never going to be able to attain something just being perfect, you know. So for me, I already put a lot of pressure on myself, so I'm not letting anybody else or anything put any more pressure on me. So, you know, yeah, you know, he fucked himself up for that. Just saying what he said, but you know, just gave me a whole bunch of fans on that end. So, you know, he got mad at me during the whole thing. Like people kept asking me about all that stuff, you know. So I was just like, oh, you know, it is what it is, but. I got to knock him out.
Yeah, you did get to knock him out, which I think was satisfying for a lot of fans out there and definitely earned you more fans. Did you take his comments? I didn't take it as bad as most of the media did. Obviously, the media runs with that stuff. I thought it was distasteful, but I wasn't like, oh, this is terrible. He's a KKK member. You know, I was like, the guy's in the middle of a fight. There's eye pokes, said dirty Brazilian. It is what it is.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I honestly always look to try to sympathize with people because I'm just like, you know, I looked at what he said and I was like, it's not the best thing he can say. Dude, I corner fighters all the time. Like corner my training partners all the time. So I've never had to go back to be like, look at that, like Brazilian knowledge. I never had to do that. I'll always go look across the cage and be like, you see that motherfucker over there? You go after him. You know, that's, you know, nothing against like never going after race, but I kind of turn my head sideways a little bit, but that's about it, man. I'm just like, well, he's there cornering his significant other. It's like, of course he's going to be in a state where he's just not there. And,
correct.
You know, the media kind of all like, I cut him slack and I never said anything like talking shit towards it. It was like, I get it. Cause he's there cornering his significant other. Like, man, I don't want to see my girl get punched in the face.
Hell no.
Like, man, that completely sucks. That's going to put me in a different, like, of course my heart would be racing. My heart would be thumping. Emotional. And all that shit. So yeah. So yeah, and I cut him some slack. It's just a lot of MMA media. I'll be like, yeah, no, a whole bunch of Brazilian fans just definitely want to see me knock him out for bigotry. They'll clickbait that and be like, oh, Yanez said Brazilian fans want to knock him out for he's going to knock him out for bigotry and all that stuff. It's like, no, if you actually go into that interview and actually listen to it or read it, you'll actually find out that's not what I said. You know, like the clickbait stuff in the back, even at the weigh-ins, and then behind the scenes at the weigh-ins, he was talking shit. So I got screenshots like, bro, you got clickbait headshots. It's not, you didn't listen to it.
You think he would know, you know, the way the media's treat him, like, come on, man, they're trying to build this fight and create a narrative that's not there. Of course, they're going to run with it. Now, you've had, 5 fights in the UFC, 5 bonuses? What are we doing with all this money, man? What are we doing with all this money?
trying to put it away. I already got an IRA set up for me. I'm actually trying to look into start grabbing more properties. I just bought my first house last year, so
Congrats,
I'm finally dipping my toes into all this stuff because, man, growing up, I never really kind of had anybody to tell me what I should be doing with my money.
Yeah.
And now that I'm here, like I had to pay taxes this past year, and I'm looking at how much I had to pay, and I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
But you live in Texas, right?
I live in Texas, so I got blessed with not having to like. This is a big reason why I'm like, I'm not fighting in New York, not fighting in California. I'm cool with fighting in Texas and Nevada. That's it. I'm cool with those two places because I don't want to be paying anybody else's taxes.
Oh, I cry every tax season. I cry living in California, my man. They'll take half your money. It's a beast, but you get what you pay for. Did you have a good Father's Day? Because you are a dad. You have a younger son.
Yeah, man. My son. Like a week and a half ago, he turned 6 months, and yeah, he showed up to the fight. So right after, man, it was the most amazing thing in the world. Like they took pictures of him. Like man, I'm telling you, holy shit. Hold on, it was a whole experience for me because like. Walking out at the weigh-ins, they showed up like legitimately. They drove from Houston to Austin in a couple hours. They get there and they're texting me where they're at, and I'm just as soon as I'm walking out, I'm looking for them in the stands. I see my girl. She's holding him up, and I'm just like, I started having my moment. And I was like, man. Dude, this is the best thing in the world. I'm seeing my son over there in the crowd, and I'm like going nuts. And then after the fight, like. After I finished Tony Kelly, like the first thing that was on my mind, I just couldn't stop yelling. I was like, the UFC caught it a little bit where I was just yelling like, "Where's my boy?" Like I'm trying to look in the fans, trying to look all around. I just wanted to go hold my son. And then after, man, as soon as I saw my baby, I was just like, dude, I didn't want to let him go, man. I didn't want to let him go.
Nothing better, brother.
Oh,
and he's 6 months.
Better.
He's 6 months, you said?
Yeah, 6 months old.
So he's still not really aware what's going on and how much of a badass his dad is. But as he gets older, he'll start picking up on things, Oh,
yeah, a little bit, man. I'm hoping so, man. But I try. I keep it very loving when we're around him. Like, but it's weird because like it's I don't know if what it is, but like he's not attracted. Like he watches all this other like he'll have like cartoons on it, like what cartoons will be on TV or something. He's not really paying attention to it, but a fight pops up and he's like looking. I'm like,
yeah, man.
I was like, I think, and there was one time I think it was I was rewatching Peter Yan versus Corey Sandhagen, and he just sat there and watched the whole fight with me. I'm like, oh shit! Like he was like, it was weird. I'm like, bro, like. Do you even like I'm just holding him like are you kidding me? Like you're just watching a fight right now.
It's in his DNA,
like he's just
brother.
staring at the TV. Man.
It's in his DNA.
Man, I don't want him to fight.
Oh, me
I want
neither.
him to be something better.
Trust me, man. Yeah, but I tell my kids that there's no UFC fighters come out of Calabasas, California, buddy. I tell him all the time. He loves jiu-jitsu. I got to take him later today to jiu-jitsu, and I like him to have the discipline and try and pursue something, but it's like this isn't your path, dude. Like I got punched in the face, so you don't have to, my man.
Oh man, that's exactly what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to get punched in his face as least as I can, so whenever he's growing up and everything, I can be coherent. Yes. And like actually like have my moments with him, because I love that moment that I had with him, and then even just in general, just watching the small little things that he does. Like, man, he just started having some actual like food, and just watching him have the actual food and just like transitioning a little bit. So it's like those moments, man, were amazing to me. And then coming home, they gave me my Father's Day present, and it was like, I never thought I'd be emotional over something small like that, but they had a customized book for just me and my son. Oh no, that's huge. And with like figures that looked, and I'm like, I was expecting like socks or underwear or something like that. Yeah. And then they gave me a book. My girl got me a book customized for me and him, and that brought me to tears, man. I was just like, so those moments, like I want to have those moments a lot more with my son, going to his first school, going taking him to pre-K, kindergarten, and I just want to be coherent. And then when he graduates, I don't want to be having the little shake syndrome, man. I want to be coherent whenever I'm with him.
Yeah, you don't want to be drooling at his graduation. I think the good thing is you don't really get hit. You know what I'm saying? Like you're elusive, your footwork, the way you maneuver, you're not really getting hit. You're off to this insane start in the UFC. I don't know if you saw the clip the UFC put up leading into your fight, but they were like, don't sleep, because this dude brings it. So, and they did a whole montage of all your highlights, and you're like, Jesus Christ, dude. So for you, it's like, you're off the 5-0 start. You got your start in the Contender Series. You have 5 bonuses, 5 wins. I tell guys this all the time. Like, Sugar Sean was here. Patty. I'm like, dude, it's a marathon, not a sprint, my man. Like, learn from me, man. Because I was like, oh, I need to get a title shot as fast as possible. So give me the toughest guys that you can. And the UFC's like, all right, my man, if that's what you want to do. And I wish I had someone who's been through it to go, whoa, dude, it's a marathon, buddy. Like, this is not a sprint. Get your experience, take your time, get to your 3rd, 4th contract where you're making real money. So for you, I'm sure you feel a little pressure because the fight world, no matter who you are, when you're coming up, especially the way you're coming up, they're going to want this, I want to see Adrian versus this guy, or, this top 5 guy, the champion. It's like, whoa, dude, take it easy, man. Yeah. So do you feel that pressure? Do you, I guess, because you'll see guys too, like, and, the UFC takes part in this as well, the pressure from fans to go, what's next? Call somebody out. Like, what's next? And they want you to call somebody out, but, it's a tough line to kind of toe there, my man, especially you having all this hype right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like I 100% like understand everything and why the fans want to do that, because it just brings a whole little spectacle about everything, man. There's like people being like, man, like holy shit, like how sick would this fight be? Adrian Yanez versus Peter Yan. And I'm like, that dude just lost the titles, like, bro, like there's no reason. I'm like, then I did call out Sugar Sean because he called me out. He spent time calling me out. Yeah, he's been calling me out for a while. Like after my Davey Grant fight, he was calling me out. So
okay,
but also even in his situation, we're on the phone call with the UFC and we're both wanted the fight, but I think the UFC had different plans for him and myself. Of course, he's fighting Pedro Munoz, which even if he fights him, I was like, beats him, there's no reason why Sean O'Malley's going to take a step back and try to fight me. He's still like a step or two ahead of me anyway. Right. So I'm like, yeah, there's no reason for him to look back. He still has like a couple fights that he can look going forward, which are perfect fights for him. So even people just don't even look at that. They're like, no, you see that you're scared of him. You're doing this. You're dodging all these fights. Like, no, it's like, there's just a lot of shit that just goes on that you can't control, because there's no way I'm going to be fighting like a Peter Yan or a Rob Font, those guys right now. I was like, bro, like, there's still a building process that needs to happen. I can't automatically fight these guys who are in the top 5, top 8, because it just doesn't make sense. You have to continue to build. And honestly too, as well, like, I don't mind waiting another fight or two to even try to even get a rank number right next to my name. So again, like, I'm in my 2nd contract right now. I'm halfway through that. And then, again to that third contract and start seeing some better numbers, then yeah, of course, top 15, start looking at those guys 100%. But I definitely want to build that. Yeah, it's all business. Because at the end of the day, these fans are super fickle. So they'll cheer for you one minute and then the next minute they're booing you. So I get it 100%. So yeah, it is what it is.
It's all business move with that stuff. I think too, when you start finding those top 15 guys, you want to be compensated like a top 15 guy, because God willing, hopefully you storm through them like you've been doing. But you start finding some of these other guys ranked in the top 15, these vets, like it's going to be a fight. Like, there's a reason why they're there, so it's going to be a fucking fight. And, if it's a fight, you're definitely risking, like you talked about, those moments with your son. It's taken away from your family. There is, unfortunately, part of the sport is that stuff will catch up to you. So it's like, you need to be compensated if you're fighting those caliber of guys, and I think the narrative's changing. Guys like Sugar Sean, Patty, even Aljo right now going, hey, I'm not going to fight TJ in September unless I get a pay bump, man. Like, I've earned that. And you guys got to, step up and pay me more, which I like seeing that. But I like seeing that the narrative's changing a little bit, where guys are smart. We're like, no, I'm not fighting a top 10 guy. I'm still on my 1st contract. So guys are getting more savvy to it, which I appreciate.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I kind of grew up and started telling myself whenever I got into this and I got into the UFC, I told myself, I was like, I don't want to be another 30 for 30. I want to be one of those guys that like goes in there and just like has a hell of a career, but at the end of the day has nothing to speak for it. You know, I definitely don't want to be that guy that even gets money, goes broke. You know, I don't want to be that guy whatsoever. So
nor can you be. You can't be. You got a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
see, that's another.
It's a different animal. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. It made me like, actually, especially even having him, it made me start thinking about everything else. Like not only just money, it started making me feel like I had to start carrying myself differently. I have to do everything else differently because I can't be having these, like, I can't be like not emotional, but I can't act emotionally whenever I'm making decisions. So I had to make sure I'm level headed and cool, you know, and I had to make sure that he navigates his emotions in a navigated and cool way. You know, I can't let him see whenever, like, just in general with this fight, in the middle of that fight, he starts talking shit to me. I stay cool, calm, and collected. Then afterwards, you know, after the fight was over, then I get a little bit more animated because like, man, fuck that guy. But also, afterwards, you know, I get to start thinking about the finances a little bit and start looking. I was like, all right, cool. Now I can set this aside for him. I can start doing this. I can start doing that, and makes everything, my life a lot easier. But now going into a little bit further, I want to start making sure that I start building off of this and start building like more money, start being able to invest a lot more. Cause man, dude, I'm telling you, I want to make sure my kid's set up for life.
100%, brother. There's nothing like a kid sober you up real quick. Stop being a dumbass. Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't, you're just a bad person. But I do think, you know, too, with social media, like, you know, your kid's he's only 6 months, he says a couple of years, but let's say you go on some crazy tangent about whatever, man, you know, it falls down on your son, you know, shit rolls downhill. So your son's gonna have to deal with that abuse at school, man. You know what I'm saying? And by the time he's with classmates, stuff like that, like, you know, you're gonna be a huge name, you know, God willing, you're gonna be this huge name. You keep doing what you're thing. So, you know, his dad's this famous fighter. So now the kid, your son's gonna have to deal with that backlash, man.
Shit, man. Even just like, let's just make this super extraordinary. But look at the, president, like the former president, Trump, man. Look, I would wonder how that, I think his name is Barron Trump. I wonder how he is handling all that stuff. That makes me think of like, this is smaller, but this is like magnified 100%. Yes, so I'm like, damn. That got to be something. But even
heavy
then,
lies the crown. Heavy lies the crown.
Yeah,
like if your dad, you know, if your grandpa's freaking Donald Trump, whether you agree with him or not, that kid's getting abused no matter what, dude. You know, I don't know how that's going down.
Left and right. So like, yeah, you got to put things into perspective, and then because this is, even though it's a lot smaller, it still means as much to me as it does to everybody else and to them. You know, so like I look at my son and like, nah, like I got to make sure he has a good head on his shoulders. I got to make sure he can navigate through this life as best as I can, like guide him through it, you know, and as best that
you keep saying it's small time right now, but you know, I believe you have all the tools and the assets and the star power to be champion. You know what I'm saying? I know you believe that. So it's like what you do now, that's always going to it's going to come back to haunt you. You know, negative or positive, they're going to bring that stuff up. So right now it might be small time, my man, but obviously your manager and everybody around you in your circle, your training partners know where this destination's headed. So, you know, you got to move like that. You know, you got to move like a champ, even though you're just getting started.
Oh yeah, no, I always have that, like, try to keep that. I do my best to make sure I don't get wrapped up in all the excessive stuff. Yeah. Like I like being like, I still have the same group of friends that I've had since I was in the very beginning, like since the very beginning. Cause
that's dope,
man. Like I don't like being around people that are just going to kiss my ass the whole entire time.
No, sir.
And all that shit. So, it's like, I still have my friends, they'll call me, they'll be like, hey, you're like, you know, you're just still kind of a piece of shit. Right. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So,
yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, I know. But no, but yeah, I do try to keep that little bit of like, hey, down to earth type of stuff. But no, when it comes to training, comes to fighting, I know that there's like, I have this drive to keep on going and keep moving forward, keep doing more. But I'm always going to try to have that little bit of humility to make sure that I'm down to earth, man. Like I don't want to forget how much work it took to get there. Cause
correct,
man, it took a lot of work.
Yeah. I think you're gonna be all right, my man. I saw on your Instagram a while ago, you posted you were training with Aljamain Sterling. You flew up there to train with Aljo?
Yeah, I trained with them back before he had the UFC had pulled him out of that. Whenever they were going to rematch the first time,
Yes,
I went up there. Yeah, legitimately, like they pulled him out, and I was flying out the next day. And I was like, I was calling him. I was like, hey, bro, like, we're still good to go. Like, what was going on? He's like, nah. I was like, it's like, I've been good. It's like, they just pulled me out because they, whatever they had going on.
Yep.
He pulled out, they pulled him out, and, I got to train with them. And then I trained with them this year, right at the beginning of March. And man, I knew right after those training sessions, that I felt that he was going to get the win over Peter.
Oh, really? Did you, when training with Aljo, did it kind of solidify what the belief in yourself and being champ? Because you see the way Aljo works, who's an incredible fighter. Aljo is a champ for a reason, So when you're around that caliber of fighter, did you learn things from him? Did it validate kind of your belief in yourself? What was your takeaway? Or sometimes you go up there, I've been in situations where I go train with these big names and you're like, I got work to do, man. Like I'm a far cry away from the champ right now.
Yeah, man. It was one of those things that like it validated that I'm on the right path, but also it was like it did both for me. It's like I need to work on this, and I'm on the right path because I'm steadily working. I'm not getting lazy. I'm not doing it because I'm good right now. And then even just with them, like even just with Aljo, just in general, like he was helping me out, like just giving me a whole bunch of like, hey, like invest your money, don't be stupid. Like he was actually like giving me like life advice too as well. So he's a really cool guy, a solid dude all around. So to me, it did wonders every single time I went up there. So I'm gonna be forever grateful to Aljo for helping me out, and then also kind of like being the guy who's like, no, you can do this. Like he even like was like, no, you can do it. Like you're gonna be one of those guys one of the days. And he's like, gosh, that made me feel so much better because, man, like I'm always like kind of, again, like it goes back to me always kind of just, I don't think I'm that good, but then after a while, like I'm like, oh, okay, I am that good. So
yeah, you gotta have that belief. Yep.
Yeah, like I am that good, but it sometimes it's still hard for me to believe because I'm just like, man, I'm from like LaPorte, like I'm from this like a suburb from Houston. I'm like, man, I ain't shit. I'm nobody. So, but at the same time, like whenever I go against these guys and like I just know I'm like, oh, okay, I am that guy.
Yeah, I love it, man. As far as what's next for you, anything on your radar? Is there anybody you want to fight? What are you thinking, dude?
Man, honestly, this is kind of a weird spot because the two guys that had called me out. Well, I got a hit list. Like 3 people called me out. Tony Kelly was one of them. Knocked him off the list. Nate Maness, he was one of those guys, but also he has a tough fight. He has a tough fighter fight in front of him, and I'm not sure if he gets that. I'm not sure if he gets that victory. If I'm being honest with you, and then Sean O'Malley, but also Sean O'Malley, if he beats Pedro again, that kind of is like he ain't looking back. He's on the way forward. So it's just all up in the air for me right now. But I do want to try to get back in October if possible.
So for you, it's kind of, just wait and see the UFC get, and obviously the UFC is a fan of you because and I said this before you came on, I said, I think now you open up the main card on that fight night. I think moving forward, you're going to be higher on those fight night main cards, but I think they'll start having you open pay-per-views. I think that's what's next for you.
Oh yeah, man. I don't mind opening up main cards because that's where the most eyes get. Like they get the most eyes on the main card. The featured bout on the prelims is cool too, but I'd rather just be opening up the main card. Co-main at times for fight nights and main event a fight night. I think that would be an amazing experience. So especially so I can start getting 5 rounds in, start getting that main event exposure on fight nights. So it just builds me up even higher. And then after that, I think the pay-per-views would be amazing too, because those are a whole bunch of eyes as well. So
different animal.
Any spot that I can get that has a lot of eyes, that's exactly where I want to be at.
Yeah, I like you kicking off the main cards on a pay-per-view because it sets the tone. And your fight's never boring. So it's like, you know how it is when you're back in those locker rooms. Like if you go out there, you do your thing. It makes everyone, it brings the best out of everyone. Like, oh damn, this dude's, showing out. So everybody else, they got to step their game up. So I think right now you're perfect for that, man. I think the UFC obviously sees it.
Oh yeah. That honestly, I really hope they do too. I saw in the back that I saw, Dana White and Joe Rogan jump out their seat after this one. So I was pretty excited about that. Like I didn't notice in the moment where they were sitting at. But yeah, like after watching the replay and I saw them jump up and just be like, holy shit. I was like, that's so fucking cool. But
yeah, that's the first fight Rogan came to and wasn't working in a hot second. Probably, I don't know, 10 years at least.
Yeah, and you know what? And actually, to be the main card opener for that to me was also like a pretty cool, man. Because I like, again, man, I'm a big fan of the Joe Rogan experience, and I'm like, I used to work a 9-to-5 job, just trying to work and try to get to the UFC and everything. So Joe Rogan experience, and not to kiss ass or anything like that, but I listened to you and Brian. Oh, I love
Fighter
and the Kid.
Love it.
And I listened to Two Bears, One Cave, man. Flagrant 2 podcast.
You
like,
got it down, dude.
No,
you know your shit.
I'm all the way in. So
I love it, dude.
100%. So I've been a big fan. Also, too, not again, back in the day, when Mark Munoz used to have Rain Training Center.
Yes, sir.
I was there for about a month.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was training with Eric Perez and Dennis Bermudez and all those guys.
Oh, they're great, man.
Yeah, y'all heavyweights are training there, and I just remember just looking. I was like, God damn, y'all motherfuckers are big
boys. Yeah, those were good times, man.
I remember seeing you in the gym. I saw Michael Bisping in the gym. I saw Rye Hall and Lorenz Larkin spar, and to me, that sparring session, I remember sitting back and watching them spar, and I wish that fight would actually. I don't think fans would truly appreciate how good those two guys are, because that was the most technical sparring session I have ever seen.
Nuts.
Like it was just absolutely nuts, and it was just I wish like that not even, man, they could put the 16s and shin guards on. Correct. I would pay to watch that.
Yeah,
I would have paid to watch that. It was so phenomenal.
Some of those training sessions out, man. You could air those and charge people $2.99 and make a real business out of it if you wanted to. That's crazy. I didn't know you went to Rain. That's fucking great, dude. I was a little chubby kid. Yeah. What else is interesting? You also do. You've done a Tough Mudder. You did the Dallas Tough Mudder.
Yeah. So I'm doing a Tough Mudder in Dallas in October. I'm going to do the one, I think it's on October 30th, 29th or 30th. But I did the one in College Station. We were trying to do the 15K one, but they didn't offer it at that time. I guess just the course wasn't like big enough, or the place that they had it just wasn't big enough. So we did the 10K. It was honestly, we were super excited, man. I loved it, man. That shit was so fun.
It was so fun. Yeah, I'm obsessed with them. I do another one because contractual. I have to do 4 year with them. I think my next one is in Chicago, end of August. If you don't have a fight, man, you ever want to come run with me, man. I'll take care of you.
Yeah. Oh man, 100%. I would love to go to one. I'm telling you, I after that experience and just after doing the 10, I was just like, once we got over Mount Everest and we started doing once we started walking towards the electrotherapy, I remember seeing it and just being like, man, this is it. Like I need 15. I started feeling like, no, I wanted to be like, I want to start going for that 12 hour. I was like, I started going like David Goggins in my own head, like stay hard, motherfucker. Like I wanted to go.
It's it's just such a fun experience. Something to do with your boys. It's like a bonding thing. Like, there's the Tough Mudder and then we have our division, the Thiccc Mudder. So it's me and like all my boys, fans, and it's just a fun experience, something to do. And like halfway through, when I can tell people are tired and they're like, man, I wish I didn't sign up for this 15K. And we're like on top of a mountain. I'm like, what else would you be doing on a Saturday? Like, how dope is this? We're all covered in mud. We're wet. Like, we're all together.
Yeah, no, there was one moment where I see my friend Lupe. He's also a really big fan. He actually has Thick Boy merch and everything.
I love him. Tell him I said what's up.
Big fan.
Love it.
We were sitting on top right in front of the cold plunge, and he just was just like, oh shit. I was like, come on, bro, we got this. And like, yeah, that shit was just it was fun because after going through it, he's just like, oh shit, I'm happy I did that. I was like, yeah, because I could tell he was just there. He was just like, I was like, man, yeah, no, you got it, bro. You got it.
Yeah, I just love doing them. We're going to have to do one together, man. That'd be fun. You know, do Tough Mudder together. Especially not find October. We can make this happen, man.
Oh, bro, I'm telling you, I am down. I am down to go anywhere. honestly, if they have a 20K one, I would be down because that 10K felt a little too easy for me.
Yeah, I feel you. 15K towards the end, you're kind of like, all right, I'm good. 15K is the perfect amount. 5K waste of time. 10K, you know, it's cool, but 15K is where it's at, man. I love it.
All right.
We'll do it, man. You got my word. And Chin has your info, right? You have his info. You have his managers. I'll text you when we get off here. Once I lock it down, we'll figure it out, man. We'll fly out there and we'll do this thick mutter together, brother. Yeah, I think it's like August 27th. It'll be fun though.
August 27th. Oh man, hell yeah.
Yeah, depend when your fight is, but we'll figure it out, dude. But man, I've been a fan for a while. You're taking the UFC by storm. You got a great head on your shoulders. You're a good dad, and I'm just excited, man. There's nothing better. I tell the guys all the time on the show, or if we're in studio, whatever we're doing, like there's nothing better than the come up. Like what you're doing right now, like stop and smell the fucking roses, my man, because it's so special. And you're going to get to the top and you can get up there and the view's not going to be as good as you thought it was. And you can get used to all this money and fame. But the come up right now is the best part, man. So try to stop and smell the roses if you can. I know it's tough.
Oh man. Yeah, man. I don't know how much more time we have, but man, like again, like that what you just said is exactly what I have been doing, especially with just everything in general, like in my life that's happened. My coach, like my coach has always told me, my dad has always told me that, like, you know, be in the moment. Don't always look forward. Don't always look forward because you start missing what's in front of you.
Yes, sir.
And my coach was a big advocate of that, because he was like, yeah, Tito Ortiz did that, Rico Rodriguez did that, the guys who had trained before, like they did that and they kind of got used to it. It's like, and he's like, just take pictures. Remember, always just remember where you're at. When I first flew out to the Contender Series, he was like, just enjoy this moment. We're riding in the limousine, and I'd like at that time, the only time I've ever been in a limousine is whenever I was riding for Quinceañera and all that stuff. So
yeah, man.
For me, like I was just like, man, this is amazing. I'm getting flown out by the UFC and everything, like just all those moments, flying out to a fight, flying back, flying to, and just enjoying all those moments, seeing new things. Man, that was like the first time other than California, I've been to a new state. So like just traveling and all that stuff. So I'm enjoying every bit of it, man. And honestly, like with my coach not being here, I now like really make sure I enjoy these moments, man. Cause I was in that cage and I was just like, man, like on this past Saturday, I remember looking up and seeing my name like in the lights, looking at the crowd and just kind of like
deal.
a part of me, I didn't let it was hurting me at that moment, but I tried not to show it because I had to be like a killer in that moment.
For sure.
But like, I was like, my coach and my dad were always in my corner. And like the fact that they both weren't there at the biggest moment of my career.
Yep.
And like where they told me I would be at one day, and
you're there.
Then I'm there, you know,
and your son's there.
I
you know
wish,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
man.
You know, and yeah, so like after everything's kind of said and done, you know, I'm happy I took that moment in instead of letting it overcome me. And I'm forever grateful, man. I'm forever grateful for the moments that I have with my coach, the moments that I have with my dad and everything, you know. Now it's time for me to have my moments with my son, you know, and make sure that he never forgets any of those moments, you know.
Yeah, take it from a guy who doesn't stop and smell the roses, my man. It's just if you do that, it's just like a never-ending hustle, and you're not appreciating your hard work. But you got to figure it out, man. You know, we haven't talked. I was like, man, some guys come out, they're super cocky or whatever, but I think you're gonna be all right, dude. Man, it's just I'm a huge fan over here. I told that from the get-go, and we'll figure out this tough mutter. I'll text you when we get done with this, but I can't tell you how exciting it is to watch your come up, man, and I can't wait to see what's next. Hopefully it's not in August, because then we can't do the tough mutter, but
if you do, I understand. October, brother.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you, brother. I really do, man. Now
Thank you so much,
go take care of that little boy, man.
Oh man, I'm actually in an hour. This is the first time I'm probably gonna get to do it. But I'm actually gonna go pick him up from daycare, because this whole training camp. All I got to do was drop him off in the morning, and that's the only time I got to see him. When I come home from training, he's asleep, man. So, man, I'm about to have those moments with my son, man. So thank you so much for this, man. Thank you for the platform.
We love you here, man, and I'll be in touch, brother. Keep kicking ass, dude.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Take care. Let's jump in the convention.
Cool. Let's see here. That's the one you're talking about. So Phil Hawes, I guess this after the fight, he just sort of like chirped at DC, like, you picked the wrong guy or something like that. I'll play the video for you.
Yeah, please do.
Hopefully it doesn't do anything to us, though. And the audio sucks here, too.
That's okay.
You picked the wrong pony. You picked the wrong pony. Yeah, you got it.
He's jacked.
You know what I'm talking about. Abu Dhabi, we cool off. Come train me. And then next week, he's fighting me.
I don't pick fights. Be respectful.
I am.
Don't be respectful.
Don't talk like I looked at me.
I don't want to fight. Don't do that. Hey, you didn't beat me.
I know I did.
You didn't beat me.
I know.
I don't pick fights. You know how many times you tried not to take this fucking fight? Yeah. Look at what happened. Why would I want this fight?
I hear you. To me on the outside, it felt
But
like...
don't matter though. But don't. But still,
I apologize.
you can do it better than that. Don't do that. Like I don't pick fights.
Yeah, here's what's interesting is these guys, like there's fighters who will call out DC and keep poking the bear. Y'all must have forgot how fucking good DC is at fighting inside that octagon. There hasn't been one guy who has criticized him besides John Jones. There's not one guy who has criticized him who won't get absolutely annihilated, right? Even Thiccc DC right now would absolutely destroy anybody giving criticism, whether it's on commentating, whatever it is. I don't know. And he's a nice guy. So like me, people talk shit to me. And we don't do much. We're friendly guys, but I'm telling you, dude, push comes to shove, DC will snap your neck on live TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't get it. All this criticism they keep giving, it's like, oh, you must have forgot. He's one of the best to ever do it. All these guys criticize him haven't even touched the level of success DC has had. You're talking about first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame. First, I mean, dude, tip of the spear, one of the best to ever do it. Light, heavyweight, won a one of the best heavyweight tournaments of all time in Strikeforce, and was a late notice replacement. Y'all must have forgot. And also with Hawes here, it's like, obviously DZ has a relationship with the other fighter. So when he says, oh, you picked the wrong guy, it's like, nah, I just know him. I don't know you. Like, what do you mean picked him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know him. We have a relationship, but I didn't pick him in this fight. What do you want me to do? And DC wasn't biased either. I didn't have an issue.
No, he wasn't.
But I think what was cool with Mary Hawes, again, after a big win, he's emotional. He knows DC's close with him. So he's like, you picked the wrong guy. And then again, dude, DC's a fighter's fighter. I mean, DC is a fucking fighter through and through, man. One of the best to ever do it. So if you start coming at him, he's going to defend himself, man.
Well, Hawes did apologize, and he said, like, please. He actually said, like, please don't fight me, DC. He knows he get
everybody is. I don't care unless John Jones starts mouthing off inside the octagon. DC has to go in there and do the post-fight interview. It doesn't matter. Anybody's gonna get dealt with.
Yeah.
So be careful, fellas. You're messing with the wrong guy. He's friendly. He's chubby. He looks short. I get it. He's in a suit. You take that suit off, it's freaking one of the best to ever do it.
Yep.
That boy's a problem. But I think Haas just emotional. I still didn't say anything too disrespectful.
No.
But like DC, he was like, yo, whoa, be respectful, man. This is my work, dude. What are you doing? He's like, you didn't fight me. Trust me, you didn't fight me.
Yeah, I love the
part. It wouldn't have went like this.
That was the dope part.
Yeah, I love that. He's like, you didn't fight me, homeboy.
You didn't beat me.
No, you didn't beat me.
He even said, like, I didn't want him to fight you. Like, this is the reason why he didn't want him.
Yeah, he was
didn't
like, I don't
want him
like
to
this
fight
matchup.
guy, yeah.
I didn't pick the fight. And then he was like, oh, I apologize. I think he's just emotional. He knows DC's associated with him. That's what all it is.
Yeah.
And also wasn't that disrespectful. I like that DC drew a line in the sand. I was like, you didn't beat me, dude. I didn't pick this fight. What are you talking about? He's like, and I didn't want this fight. But DC, if I'm his friend, the guy who fought, what's his name, the small guy?
Oh, Duran Win.
Yeah, if I'm Win and I'm DC, I'm telling him, like, you got to cut weight. This ain't working. But
dude, he looks so awkward in there. He's too tiny.
It's not good.
His arms.
His wrestling's not. He got taken down. It's a nightmare. It's not going to work out.
You mentioned Eddie Wineland being overmatched, and so after this fight, he did retire.
This is my thing, though. Eddie Wineland, former world champion in WC, he actually fought on the card. I think he fought Uriah Faber when I fought Crow Cop in New Jersey. Eddie Wineland, for the amount of sacrifice and time he's given the UFC in the years with his boy. Shout out to Eddie Wineland, one of the greats, man. And that mustache is just fantastic.
I know.
Fantastic.
It's dope.
You don't see a lot of that anymore. But for a guy like Eddie Wineland, too, the sacrifices he's made inside the octagon, for them not to give him airtime to retire, got a problem with it. And I saw him take the gloves off.
Yeah.
Like he was holding the gloves. Listen, if you see a guy take gloves off that fast and you know he's at the tail end of his career, you got to give him the proper respect and let him sign off on air, man. Like he had to post about it.
Yeah.
It's terrible. That's not the way you treat a guy.
Yeah. I wonder if
And I could tell, I was like, oh, I wonder if they're going to give him his time. Like, oh, wow. You just what? You could tell he's like, all right, see ya.
yeah. But you know, production work sometimes they probably have to like get, but it sucks either way.
Cody Stateman's going to go on to do great things and fight for the next, 6 years probably. Mm-hmm. Eddie Wineland, and you could just be like, you could have went to Eddie Wineland first, done that, and like, Cody, who you want next? That's it.
Yeah.
Because come on, man, it was a mismatch. This isn't a good fight for Eddie Wineland. You know what you guys were doing.
Mm-hmm. We already covered Joe Luzon.
Love Eddie Wineland though, great, such a nice guy. Mm-hmm. And again, for you newcomers to the UFC, go back and watch when he fought in WC. He had some phenomenal fights.
Knockout, dude.
Yes.
All right, we knew this was coming, but Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw is going to be for UFC 279.
September, right?
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
But Aljamain said, I ain't signing anything until they give me a pay increase. Good time to do it. I think, he talks about being a company man. He's like, I've played my role of, the heel and I've made them money. So he goes, one would think that being a company man will actually help you in the long run. So I did my job. As of right now, I'm training, hoping that we come to some type of agreement to give some type of pay bump, which naturally happens in all contracts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, usually the contract, so if you find a 6-fight deal, unless I think Bisping had something in Vitor, JDS, where you get this huge flat fee of like $400K or $500K, and then it stays that, and then you get bonuses if you win. But you're talking about two legends. For Aljamain, who still has work to do, right? Usually it goes like my contract was like 16 and 16, 24 and 24, 32 and 32, whatever, 38 and 38, 44 and 44, 60 and 60. It always bumps up, and he's saying, all right, now I'm champ. It just stays the same. That doesn't seem right, And then you're not getting pay-per-view points till you do. I think you got to defend the belt like 2 or 3 times. It's weird the way they do it. There's no like actual strategic, clear way on how they give those pay-per-view points with champions. So I get it. I just don't know if the UFC is going to budge, But to Aljamain's defense, I think now's the best time to do it. I think he was waiting. I was like, yeah, announce the fight. It ain't happening until you give me a pay increase. Mm-hmm. They could do it. Clearly, they can afford it. Also, with the UFC, and I don't know how much of a pay increase he's looking for. If it's like, $1 million, it ain't happening. But if he's just like, I need some sort of incentive where it bumps up. So this Sterling's taking a stance. The Funkmaster revealed that he was paid $400,000 for his title defense against Jan, which typically would include his share of pay-per-view buys. However, according to Sterling, he hasn't seen the increase in pay that's looking for his next fight. Yeah, you defend the belt a few times for you get pay-per-view points.
400 sounds like a pretty decent amount, but
for champ?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess he's considered champ twice now, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not great.
Yeah.
But to me, interesting how it plays out. Because when he says a bump, I wish he would have said how much of a bump he's looking for. Because that's where it gets a little dicey. I'm with him. You should absolutely get paid. Everybody should be paid more. Sterling being the champ definitely has more leverage because the division can't move on. They're not going to strip him over this unless he holds out for like a year or 6 months. But I would like to know, man, we should call him up. We should call him up.
Definitely.
I'd like to know how much he's asking for. I don't need exact numbers, but if he's like, I need a 10% increase, but if he's like, I need double my pay, the UFC's like, it ain't happening, dude. We ain't making that money off of you, Because he definitely deserves more. Now's a good time to do it. I'm just wondering, like, how far are you willing to take this, Aljamain? Because, again, the UFC, unfortunately for the fighters, the UFC doesn't need anybody. So in that division, they'll go, cool, we'll toss this guy in. We're going to strip you your belt, make this the interim belt,
Yeah, they've done it before. Plenty of times.
I hope he gets paid, though. He deserves it.
For sure.
And he's right. He's put on some great performances. He's champ. Pay the man. Again, pay the man, depend on what he wants. Let's be realistic, Aljamain.
Hold up, this is not loading.
Because
But I'll
remember
tell
when
you right.
Cejudo was asking for like a certain amount, he was like, they just don't pay me enough. And he was asking for, millions and millions of dollars, and the UFC's like, no, we don't get enough pay-per-view buys to bring him back like that.
I don't know. He's incredible, but
So good.
Just the
one of the best
viewership.
ever.
Yeah.
Again, one of the best to ever do it.
all right. Your boy Corey Sandhagen
Hate
will be
it.
fighting Song Yadong September 17th for a Fight Night main event.
They're setting my boy Corey up. Corey Sandhagen, one of Aurora's finest, might be the most talented guy come out of Aurora. And if you think about Aurora fighters, talking about Nate Marquardt, Dwayne Ludwig, Christian Allen, monsters. Corey Sandhagen might have the best talent out of all those guys I just mentioned, including myself. Shane Carwin, some monsters at Aurora. It's something in the tap water. Turns us into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just hate that they give him Song Yadong. I don't like it. Song Yadong, he's not ranked, right? So it's a high risk for him no matter what. But I don't think he's ranked as of now. Oh, they got him at 9 now? Okay, he's 9. 9 versus 4. And the division's pretty tied up. I get it. 4-9, again, especially in this division, ratings or rankings don't matter too much. It just, Corey Sandhagen coming off that last fight, Song Yadong, again, there's these boogeymans in the division. This Song Yadong, this isn't a fight for Corey to highlight his skills. To me, when this got announced, I went, they're trying to pull one over on my boy. What they're trying to do is build up Song Yadong, and I told you this, like, the UFC marketing, international is where they're going to make their money now.
He's from China.
He's from China. He's from China. He's a young kid from China, looks good, marketable, killer, gets finishes, undefeated. Kid is a mother trucking problem. For Corey Sandhagen, let's see how good he is. I just don't like it. I feel like Corey should be, fighting some other big names, and this kid is the next, he's basically Chung Lee from Bloodsport. He's Chung Lee, dude. He's a small Chung Lee. It's a fucking problem. Yeah. I hate it for my guy Corey. And again, super biased. Can Corey win this fight? 100%. I just don't like it. As a career move, I don't like it. Yeah. Another loss, I don't like it. I'd rather him lose to like a Dominic Cruz or, something like that, or Marlon Vera, Cheeto, something like that. But obviously Cheetah and Cruz are doing their thing, but I just...
You don't like it.
Song Yadong is a trucking problem.
Yadong? Song Yadong.
What did I say? Yadong?
Close enough.
The kid's a problem.
He's a big problem.
Big problem.
Yeah, that's a tough
The UFC's going, let's go and take this over into China. Because they're like, if they start moving to China, which is a huge market for them, you think about it, they have Weili, right? Who's huge, but, they don't have any male fighters who are, doing, he's their...
Yeah.
He's their guy.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It's a very tough fight for Corey.
Very tough fight.
All right. So Greg Hardy has signed, I think it's a multi-fight deal with BKFC.
I like this way more than him trying professional boxing. I think BKFC, especially at heavyweight, I think for Ed Hardy, he's a big name. I'll definitely watch it. I gotta be honest, what BKFC's been doing lately, I dig it.
Yeah.
It's entertaining, dude. It's entertaining. They're getting quality fighters. Greg Hardy, people tune, even the UFC, even mismatch, not a great fight, probably not going to win. We'd always tune into Greg Hardy, And again, Greg Hardy, obviously his past is dark. And I get all that. But there is something to redemption. There's something of people learning from the mistakes. He was younger. I don't know exactly what happened.
That's another thing. Yeah.
We don't know.
Yep.
Obviously the witness, I don't know if he settled. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened there. What I do know is people that are his coaches and training partners, and they go, Schaub, I'm telling you, dude, he is a great guy now. Like, he's respectful. That, yeah. He's a good training partner. He shows up for everybody. He just wants to learn, but unfortunately, when you have that baggage, it's, comes with the territory. Like people are always going to find a reason to try and bring you down for whatever reason. You know, that's a good reason with domestic violence stuff, but I get it. But again, all I've heard from like legit good-hearted people, I'm telling you, man, maybe he made his mistakes in the past. Since he's walked into the gym, been nothing but a pleasure to work with. Good person. Right now, I don't know. Back in the, I can't judge him back there. I don't know him. I don't know him now, but I do know the people that work with him tell me he's a good guy.
Yeah.
All right.
It says right here, initially found guilty, but then the charges were later expunged. That means gone entirely from the record because the victim failed
to appear in court.
Yeah. So there's a lot more that we have no idea what happened actually. I saw the pictures too. I think I showed you before. It was like the pictures didn't look.
I'm not one to judge. Again, I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wish I did. Also wish I knew what happened to OJ. Okay.
I think
wish
you
I
know.
don't prove it, Jay.
you know.
Okay. Court of law found him innocent, right? Civil court found him guilty. It's a tough one, but prove it. Did his son do it? I'd like to know what happened with JFK. Okay. I'd like to know what happened with Jimmy Hoffa. I know more about what happened with JFK than I do Greg Hardy or Hoffa or OJ Simpson. The JFK one I am balls deep in. And if you've seen that new doc, I think it's on Showtime with Oliver Stone. You can now it's a deep dive. And you got to pay attention. You can't have your cell phone. Probably should watch in 2-part series. It's about 2 hours long. I'd break it up. It's so much knowledge, but you're gonna watch and go, oh, there's no way Lee Harvey Oswald did this. There's no way. You'll watch him like, oh, all right, this is the most convincing thing I've ever seen. It's insane. Like his brain, like all that, it's nuts. The magic bullet, they traced all of it. Watch it, get back to me. All right, that's all I'm going to say. But the point is, I don't know shit about Greg Hardy's situation.
I know.
And now the champ's Alan Belcher.
Yeah, heavyweight. So that'd be a crazy ass fight too. Belcher doesn't look like he used to. He's just jacked.
Jack
now. Yeah.
City, baby.
Yep. So Zabit.
I've played some more dates or Mark, do natty or not, Alan Belcher.
I think Mark will easily be like, all right, he's on this.
You should look it up.
Yeah.
He was a phenomenal fighter.
Yeah.
In the UFC. So talented.
He went on the ground with Paul Harris, the guy that kept freaking
Beat the shit out.
Yeah, exactly.
Because people, Alan Belcher, a high level black belt.
Yeah.
You know, so he was like, oh, your thing's knee bars and leg locks? Watch this. And was like, go to the ground and just beat the shit up.
Yeah.
Paul Harris is on a tough route lately. I don't know if you've been paying attention.
I haven't.
He's fighting Russia, and these Russians don't give a fuck. They are beating his ass.
Wow. Okay, so Zabit Magomed Sharipov, we remember he started going to some medical field or whatever, but he's officially retired now. So he officially retired while he was on top of the UFC.
And he says, disruptions of fights and then health problems. All this did not allow me to perform, fight earlier, I have to recover now, but I don't feel the way I used to. Thank you to everyone who has supported me for such a long time. I didn't have to become a champion, but I think even without this, I hope I was able to please entertain you. You sure did, my man. Mm-hmm. I cease to be an active athlete. I cease to be an active athlete, but I do not leave the sport. I have something with whom to share my knowledge. So don't say goodbye, friends.
Good for him. Left on top.
Yeah, I mean, the shame that if you're a fan of Zabit, the shame is what it could have been.
Yeah.
Right? Like he was so talented. So
exciting and talented.
I told you, again, there's no one I respect more in the space of coaching than Mark Henry. And Mark Henry called me, years ago. DM'd me. I said called. He DM'd. I was like, Schaub, I hear you talking about all these fighters. He's like, I'm telling you, man, we've never seen a guy like this, Zabit kid. I'm telling you, he doesn't lose a round. He's like, please don't talk about his sparring partners in these rounds, but you talk about, think about the guys. Marlon Moraes in his prime, Frank Yeager, Barboza. You talking about in their prime. Zabit never lost a round.
Insane.
And look at it, like he retired undefeated in the UFC, undefeated. So yeah, it's a bummer because you want to know, what the potential could have been, and that Calvin Kattar fight, if it had been 5 rounds, what it would look like.
Yeah, that was the one.
But listen, there's no shame in being like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I'm good. I found something else I want to do. I know people get upset, but it's like, God bless Zabit found something to do. A lot of guys get done and they don't know what to do because their identities are so fight, flight, like all they know is fighting. And what a gift for Zabit to have the option to go, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Like I thank my blessings every day. Like I was in the middle of my fucking career. I was like, oh, I can do this, something I'd rather do. Oh, thank God. Instead of how's this end? I stick around and what? Hopefully become a kickboxing coach at the UFC gym. Like that's how this ends. This is terrible. But fighters are becoming a lot smarter. Athletes in general are becoming a lot smarter going, all right, maybe I am a basketball player right now, but it doesn't define me. Or maybe I'm an NFL player right now or UFC fighter right now, but it doesn't define me. Like if your life is a book, your professional career in athletics is one chapter of that book, man. Unless, there's the outliers. There's the Tom Brady's, there's the Randy Couture's, or, these guys who, Dominic Cruz's, that John Jones that fought forever. But those are the outliers. In general, it's going to be a very small chapter in your life book, man. People are going through your life after you pass away, it's a short chapter, man. But so many guys define themselves on that, But athletes become so much smarter,
Even like Shaq. When Shaq retired, he has like, I don't know how many freaking businesses, a gazillion.
I don't know who his manager is, but Shaq was selling condoms, dude. Right now he sells condoms. He owns the pizza joint. He owns so much shit, dude.
A ton of stuff.
But even before, but this is the thing, and it didn't get publicized. But even before him, Magic Johnson didn't become a damn near billionaire because he's a good basketball player. Magic Johnson invested into movie theaters and Starbucks and put them up all over, dude. That's how he became a fucking icon mogul, Mm-hmm. No one wants to talk. Like, there's guys that forever have made moves to get him in the right position, but I don't know why it's not more highlighted.
Yeah. All right, Yuri Prochazka shaved off his antenna.
What? No. What if he just loses all his power now?
I know.
That was his secret weapon.
And you're talking about chapters of life, so he says he needed another, or end one chapter and start with new energy.
New energy, new wave. Mm-hmm. Let's see it. Oh, there's no video?
No, I don't think there's a video.
He still looks sweet. That beard is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, let the new era begin. Yeah. That's like was that saber tooth fucking, what is that?
I don't know.
Man, that's intense necklace. The shirt says relax. Mm-hmm. The chain says savage.
Yeah.
Like is that Hawaii or is that his hometown? And what is
I think it's his hometown, yeah. Remember he went back and they had that huge reception?
Oh my God, yes.
Insane.
Superstar now. The clash of the designs there.
I know.
Man.
Pineapple shorts.
The pineapple shorts.
Floral shirt.
The top floral shirt.
And a giant.
Then with the giant
tooth.
I mean, I don't know what claw that is. Is that a bear's claw that he killed or something? I don't know. His beard's fantastic. Yeah, I wish I had that beard.
Same.
But the it's a very Tommy Bahama vibe for the champ here. It's very confusing because it says I want to relax, but then this whole demeanor here says I'm ready to fight.
Yeah,
it's very confusing. But yeah, let it begin. It's gonna be fun, man. See what's really fun.
Also, over the weekend, Jeremy Stevens had to shave his beard and his head to make weight.
Oh, wow.
You can't even tell that's him, huh? He looks so different.
I watched this live.
Oh, okay.
Again, another mismatch. I watched this live, and I was like, oh, he looks so much better with his beard.
Yeah. That's how I recognize him. Yeah, this is like, yeah, it's trippy. But he made weight.
Such a little spark plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, PFL's fun.
Yeah, and they're getting good guys.
It's just like, it's fun. It's like, have you watched that other football league? It's on right now. It's in the offseason of the NFL. I think The Rock's behind or whatever.
The XFL?
It might be XFL. I forget what they call it, but it's like, I was watching it when we were in Portland. I was watching a half, and I was just like, don't get me wrong, it's football. Just like these other leagues are fighting. It ain't the UFC. It ain't the NFL. Mm-hmm. It's just not. Stakes, yeah. And like they want to be somewhere else. They didn't make, it's like, no one's like, oh, I'm going to play for the whatever's Los Angeles Juggernauts instead of the Rams. Never. Kyla Harrison's the only person in PFL going, I'd much rather be here than the UFC. She's the only one. Everyone else, even the Bellator. It's the elephant in the room. We all know. You all know. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. We know. But then there's guys, who fight in the PFL, like Homeboy, who won the Brazil Ultimate Fighter. He was like, I've made more in a year fighting for PFL than I made my entire career in the UFC.
Oh, yeah. Antonio Carlos Jr., Shoeface?
Shoeface, yeah. Yeah. Antonio Jr. He's like, I've made more in a year fighting PFL than I did in the UFC. It's like, yeah, but if you're successful in the UFC, if you like were undefeated, the amount of money you can make in notoriety is insane. Mm-hmm. What did you get, Jen?
Let me see. This I thought was just, it's not going to happen, but Gilbert Burns said that if he fought Jorge Masvidal, he would put in the contract that there's no takedowns. So Jorge could just strike with him.
It's a fun headline, but the UFC don't work
I know.
like that.
I know. That's what Gilbert said.
Be a fun fight. No, I'm so curious what they're going to do with those guys.
Yeah.
God damn, Kevin Holland stops alleged perfume thief?
Yeah.
This dude needs to just stop fighting the UFC and become Batman.
I know.
This is insane. Another one? Why is he always around crime, too?
I don't know, but he's always finding himself in these situations, and he's always the hero. So,
this is insane. I mean, how can you not like this guy?
Kind of like
it says, this is 24 hours before his UFC fight. Holland's manager, Oren, said the 29-year-old fighter on Friday stopped a would-be perfume thief. I mean, perfume, let it go.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, perfume. Don't get me wrong.
They're expensive.
Stealing, but you're going to, 24 hours before a fight, you're going to risk injury to stop this guy from stealing, Dior perfume. I bet it was Johnny Depp's Dior, man. That stuff to get.
They're selling like crazy. Sauvage.
I used to wear it.
Yeah.
Savage.
It
You mean
smells good.
savage, Johnny? You're from Kentucky, dude. Quit talking like that. Holland's manager, Oren, stopped a would-be perfume thief in Austin by chasing him down on foot. I bet Holland's fast, too, man.
Yeah.
Holland told MMA Junkie he gave chase after seeing another man shout about a stolen item while in pursuit of the alleged thief. The manager was unaware of whether the alleged thief was apprehended. Holland then returned several bottles of perfume. I mean, this dude is full blown. I mean, this is insane. He's a superhero. Why is he always around it though?
There's just too many. I don't know how this is possible, but I remember John Jones one time, a long time ago, chased down someone.
That was my fight. That was when he fought Shogun. Yeah, it was in New York because we did the press tour at the Radio City Music Hall. Mm-hmm. And we were both there. And then, shortly after that, they said he apprehended a guy. But then it came out where people were like, that didn't happen like that. Really? But I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't there. I don't know. But I know Holland, and this isn't like Holland's just doing his thing, man.
Yeah.
It's a real life kick-ass. Kick-ass 3, Kevin Holland. How is the Hollywood not put him in as the next one of the guys in the
He said he wants to do movies after this.
He has a personality all day.
Yep.
All day.
This is a quick one. This is just Patty the Batty when he was younger.
What's your name? Okay, do you have a font nickname?
He's all shy or what?
Oh, yeah, he was super shy and he didn't look anything like he does now. And then this is just a montage of him kicking ass afterwards.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this! Look at this comment. He's good, but overhyped.
It's like, okay, dude, whatever.
Okay, dude. What do you want him to do? You know how much money that kid makes for being overhyped?
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is just Peter Yan and Henry Cejudo going back and forth on social media.
So Peter Yan put, and it's at Peter Yan UFC. Hey, Henry Cejudo, you talked a lot when you were retired. Now it's time to back it up. Don't mind the fight, but I definitely don't think he's going to take it. And Henry's only going to fight for the title. He only fights for gold. His name's Triple C, for God's sakes. He said, only if you had the gold, I would have loved to have buried you. You should go back to Dagestan and learn more wrestling because you got out-wrestled by a Division III All-American. That wouldn't be smart of you taking an Olympic champ after that loss. I'm after gold, ho. Hilarious. And then Peter says, the truth is you retired the day I became #1 contender and unretired on the same day I ceased to be the champion. Now you ducked me again only to prove those facts. He says, and you lost to Aljo Lame twice. Do you think the Olympic champ 2 division UFC is going to play with sorry-ass contenders? Henry's hilarious. Your fat-ass bold manager is going to get you hurt. He misspelled you. That's all right.
He does some misspellings here and there.
I'll give 20% off if you subscribe to my technique of the week. You know I'm getting the title shoot next.
I don't know if he's doing it on purpose.
Maybe just firing it off, It's tough. Yeah, Peter Yan's not touching that fight. Yeah, Henry Cejudo is going to come out and fight, Volkanovski or for 35, 45 gold. He's earned it. He got retired as a double fucking champ.
Yeah, he's got to fight for gold for sure. This is okay. The last one for current events, at least. So this is a fight that happened in a small organization, and the guy got kicked in the nuts. And then I'll show you what happens after that.
Slaughter looking to connect with those heavy shots, throwing that uppercut.
Well, Sauerkopf landed a few nice shots. He's coming straight up.
Right in the wiener. Some wide on one. Oh!
And he gets one time.
The guy rushed in. Don't touch his wiener, man.
Revenge.
Don't touch a man's wiener. Boy, that fired up. Let me see the wiener kick again.
Okay.
And that boy rushed in because he thought he was gonna stop, like kicking the wiener there. He's like, "Come on, man! What? Oh, go! Boom! Wiener power, daddy.
Damn.
That's that dick power." I think. Well, here it doesn't matter, but I think in the UFC, if there's an eye poke or a dick kick, deduct point no matter what.
Yeah,
there's no
I agree.
warnings
Automatically,
because it changes the outcome of the fight.
Yep.
The guy's compromised. Kick me in the nuts, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
God, how photoshopped is this whole thing here?
I don't know. But so this is at 3 p.m. Pacific on Saturday, UFC card. Not the best, but the great fight there is Neil Magny and Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Tough fight for Neil Magny.
Yeah.
They're not doing my boys any favors at all. Yeah. Adolfo Vieira's fighting, who I always like to watch fight. Our boy Brian Kelleher is fighting. Mario Batista. Yeah, the fight's not going to blow your hair back, but there's definitely some good fights on there.
And also, there's Bellator on Friday. Hold on, here it is. Gegard Mousasi and Johnny Eblen, which I don't really know much about Johnny Eblen, but I think it's a title fight.
All I know is Gegard Mousasi, that big dick energy. You go ahead and kick him in that big dick. See what happens, dude. Choke you unconscious. Gegard got that big old dick, man.
Legend says.
I'm telling you.
And then there's also
big energy.
A BKFC. I don't recognize. I remember Palomino from I think World Series of Fighting or something.
Yep.
And then this is where Beck Rollins is back in BKFC.
Yes, we love Beck Rollins here at the Schaub show.
And that's on a Friday as well.
Beck doing the goddamn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like what BKFC is doing, man.
Yeah.
I really do.
If you actually sit down and watch it, it's a lot of fun.
It's straight up entertaining.
Yep.
It is so entertaining. Well, that's it, kids. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hopefully you enjoyed Adrian. I'm a big fan of him. Stand-up wise, tour wise, LA is this Wednesday, Schaub and Friends. Oh, we have a beastie lineup. We got Adam Carolla, we got Trevor Wallace, Jeff Dye, my boy Craig Conan, and then we have a very, very special guest who, if you got to get tickets to the show, he's a monster. Very famous, very funny guy. You will see him as the special guest. That's this Wednesday, 8 p.m. only. I think it starts at 7:45. Actually, I was trying to bump it up earlier. So it might be 7:45 start time. Either way, one show only, 7:45, Hollywood Improv, Schaub and Friends with some monsters. And then the Trash Panda Summer Tour continues in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Never been there, but the guys who own these clubs are my favorite owners in the business. They own the Bricktown Comedy Club in Oklahoma City, the ones who set me up with the Emerson Theater. They own Spokane and Tacoma, I think. So these guys just do it right, and they've never steered me wrong. So I've never been to Fort Wayne, Indiana. It is a beast to get there. There's one hotel in the town, and we're staying there. And Mark will be there as well with his shirt off if you want to touch his nipples. So that is Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Trash Panda Tour continues. This merch, the new Trash Panda Tour Thick Boy merch, can only get in person. That will be in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And San Diego is the Laugh Factory in the heart of San Diego, California. Laugh Factory San Diego, July 21st to the 23rd. Also have special guests there. That's going to be a big show. And then Baltimore, Maryland is August 4th through the 6th. Just added Appleton, Wisconsin, September 8th through the 10th. Houston, Boston are in September. Get your tickets at thickboy.com. The Father's Day sale has ended. We have new Thick Boy tie-dye merch dropping end of June. It is some of my favorite shit. It's fantastic. So all that is coming very soon, kids. But Hollywood Improv this Wednesday, I think I have I have spots at the Laugh Factory this week too, so you can find me on there. It's on their lineup. I'm there on Friday at 8 p.m. for sure, and then Saturday I'm doing Jam in the Van in LA too. So I'm all over. When I'm not on tour, I'm doing spots around LA. So come get some. But yeah, Hollywood Improv Wednesday in Fort Wayne, Indiana. You're next on the big tour dates there, and that's it, kids. I love you guys. Thanks for subscribing, liking. We have a big week coming up with food truck guests. I'm going to tell you who. I like to keep it a surprise. But that's it. All right. Love you guys. Be nice to each other. Enjoy your holiday. And I will see you around the way. Love you. Bye.